All right, elsewhere and in under 10 months, Kenyans will once again head to the polls to elect leaders who will represent their interests in governance. And as the political class begins in earnest to seek those votes, they have set their eyes on a particular group, that is the youth, whom they believe will be a significant game changer in the 2022 election. But as Leila Mohammed reports, political commentators say that their varied dynamics and the history of civic education in targeting that particular group may not bring new results based on traditional practice.
The scramble and partition of the country's electorate began many years ago. Still, in the last few months, the political parties in the country have taken their charm offensive to the country's youth a notch higher, basing their arguments on better working conditions, an expanded job market, better healthcare, quality education, and accessibility to credit to enable more startups like in the informal industry. Politicians have set their eyes on those under 35. Political pundits say they are a vital mover of the democratic space.
And the biggest issue today is economic opportunities, because majority of the Kenyan youth are bleeding. Most of them are unemployed. The few are unemployed are not able to make their ends meet because of the economic challenges. So for you to win the Kenyan youth, you must present a very solid economic message. And when you look at all the presidential candidates, it means every single presidential candidate has to differentiate himself.
Time and again, the young people's contribution to the democratic space has been a small one, with majority being handed breadcrumbs to fight for a cause that pundits believe is a selfish one and one that is of little or no benefit to their personal growth.
Consciousness of being in the shackles is what will make themselves get out of such kind of manacles. And this is only possible if there is conscious political education, which, as a matter of fact, no politician wants to carry out objective political education of the masses, because now that will expose their underbelly.
The IEBC is targeting to register 6 million fresh voters, a majority of whom are young people, a demographic that is heavily sought after by the political class. But according to experts, these political parties need to do much more research into the targeted audience rather than just looking at their age.
Political analysts say that the Kenyan youth is not a homogeneous group, but even with the general assumption that it is, which is not the case, their place of residence, education level, financial status, exposure to the world and political understanding stand in the way of giving them blanket attention.
How does it affect a youth in Kibera when you say about a bottom up that you are going to create opportunities? How does it affect a youth in Mandera or Moyale? So you have to break it. But all said and done, what is going to differentiate all these candidates is going to be the credibility factor. Because believe you me, every single Kenyan understands our problems. They also understand our solutions.
It has been documented in history that political parties in the country have had vibrant youth wings, whose members have grown to become respected politicians themselves. But looking at the matter deeply shows the weak points in how the groups never attained political growth of the larger youth population as stipulated on paper.
KANU and other parties did not take time to nurture political leadership amongst the youth who are within those parties. That any learning was accidental. Today, amongst the younger people in political parties, the youth in political parties, they are there holding spaces at the margins. In fact, we can argue that the youth in political parties are only seat fillers.
According to the 2019 population census, those between 18 and 34 years are 13,777,600, which was about 29% of the total population of 47 million Kenyans at the time.
It's called the Youth Revolution.
The United Nations projects that by 2065, Kenya's population will have tripled to 115 million, with the youth representing a considerable percentage of that number with 35 million people. To assess the future demand for schools, family planning services and jobs, the youth have been urged to be active and participate in governance matters.
So when you've got your votes as a youth, you can use that vote to create economic opportunities for yourself, or you can use the votes to create a miasma of impunity, mediocrity and corruption, so that for the next 10 years, you'll be facing serious economic challenges. And I don't know, for some reason, why the Kenyan youth is not able to join the dots to understand that voter's card can actually change their life.
Young people have been challenged to understand better the powers that the democratic space has given them and the constitutional granted rights to exercise their civic rights to vote.
The political miseducation that is prevalent in our political parties today is such that if you praise the party leaders and the politicians in your party the most, if you are seen to be howling and fighting other people as a goon to fend and take care of the political interests of the party leader, then you're trying to earn yourself a place at the table by way of nomination or working within a political party. But the intellectual matter of the youth is not being tapped by these political parties.
Decision makers have also been urged to be wise and meaningfully engage with the young people and acknowledge the importance of their voices, energy and vision to a healthy democracy. Experts believe that this group has the potential to significantly impact the outcome of elections. Therefore, strategies that encourage their participation can help further their influence. Leila Mohammed, NTV.